to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
What would you do if your ex came to your child's birthday party uninvited? You're trying to keep the celebration peaceful, focused on family and love, but then your ex appears out of nowhere. How would you feel if your child, the one person who has witnessed everything, stood up and told the world the truth? Well, that's exactly what happened when Teyana Taylor's daughter testified against her own father, Iman Shumpert, and the explosive truth she revealed left him speechless. The truth was finally laid bare, and it was a truth that nobody saw coming. Iman, once considered a loving father and husband, stood there stunned as his own child shared things no parent wants to hear. Teyana, standing firm, knew it was time to confront not just Iman, but also the reality of what had been going on behind the scenes of their perfect life. In this jaw-dropping expose, we'll reveal exactly what Teyana's daughter said, how it impacted Iman, and why this moment is the tipping point in their relationship. This is a story about betrayal, heartbreak, and a daughter's courage to speak the truth. Let's dive in, because the truth is far more shocking than anyone could have imagined. Tasha K., the infamous media personality known for exposing the deepest secrets of celebrities, has just dropped an explosive revelation. She's exposed something that could destroy Teyana and Iman's relationship, and it all started with their daughter's unexpected testimony. In an emotional moment, Teyana's daughter shared painful details about her relationship with her father, details that left Iman speechless. What Teyana's daughter said wasn't just about feeling neglected or ignored, it was about witnessing things that no child should ever have to witness. As the words fell from her lips, Iman stood there in complete silence. He had no defense. The truth was too strong, too real. For the first time in his life, Iman had nothing to say. Teyana's daughter had exposed the raw truth, and there was no escaping it. Now, to fully understand the weight of this moment, we have to rewind and look at the relationship history between Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert. From the outside, they've always seemed like one of Hollywood's power couples. They've been through thick and thin together, and from their social media to public appearances, they've shown the world a perfect picture of love and family. But behind that picture-perfect image was a different reality. The struggles, the doubts, and the growing tension between them weren't always visible to the public eye. Like most couples, they faced challenges that only they knew about. But what was once a partnership built on love and respect slowly began to unravel. Teyana, as strong as she is, had always tried to keep things together for the sake of their daughter. But even the strongest people can only carry the weight of secrets for so long. The cracks in their relationship started to show, and soon, the world would find out what had been brewing beneath the surface. Teyana's daughter, who had been witnessing these struggles firsthand, decided it was time for the truth to come out. And what came out wasn't just a minor issue, it was the kind of revelation that changes everything. Teyana's daughter, in her innocence and honesty, revealed the pain, the neglect, and the emotional toll that had been weighing on her. And in doing so, she broke the illusion that had been carefully crafted for years. When Teyana's daughter took the stand, the impact was far greater than anyone could have anticipated. It wasn't just Teyana and Iman who were affected, their entire families were shaken to the core. The revelation hit them like a tidal wave, and the emotional toll was evident in every conversation, every interaction, and every reaction. For Teyana's mother, who had always been the unwavering pillar of strength in the family, the news was nothing short of devastating. She had watched her daughter fight tirelessly for her marriage, for her family, and for her happiness. She had supported Teyana through every challenge, every high and every low. But now, hearing her own granddaughter speak out against Iman, someone she had once accepted as a son, was a blow that she couldn't comprehend. It was too much for her to bear. The weight of the betrayal was heavier than anything she had experienced before, and it left her feeling helpless, unsure of how to proceed in the face of such raw emotion. And then there was Iman's family. The silence that followed his daughter's testimony was deafening. It wasn't just the awkwardness of the moment, it was the collective shock and disbelief of a family who had spent years admiring their son, their brother, their relative. They had always been proud of him, of the man he had become. They had believed in the image he had crafted for himself, strong, loving, and devoted. But now, they were being forced to confront the reality of what had been happening behind closed doors. It was a truth they hadn't wanted to acknowledge, but one that had become undeniable. Some members of Iman's family tried to defend him, to find excuses for his actions, but the evidence was too clear to ignore. His daughter's testimony was not just words, it was a damning revelation that left no room for denial. The damage was done. And now, Iman's family was left grappling with the aftermath, unsure of how to move forward, unsure of how to fix the relationship that had been fractured by the truth. The news of the testimony quickly spread, and as soon as it hit the media, the internet exploded. Fans and supporters of the couple took to social media, each with their own reactions to the shocking revelation. Some were in disbelief, struggling to reconcile the image of Iman, the loving father and husband, with the man who had been accused of neglecting his own child. These fans had long admired Iman for his strength, his love for his family, and his public persona as a devoted father. For them, the idea that he could be capable of such neglect was unthinkable. "This can't be true," they said, clinging to the belief that there must be some sort of misunderstanding, some explanation for what had been revealed. They didn't want to accept the reality of the situation, and instead, they held on to the hope that Iman's actions could be justified, that the truth was not as damaging as it seemed. Among the supporters of Teyana, the reactions were mixed but passionate. Some fans immediately rushed to her defense, praising her for standing up for her daughter and ensuring that the truth was heard. They admired her strength, her resilience, and her determination to confront the issues head-on. They applauded her for not allowing her daughter to suffer in silence, for not letting the lies and the betrayal go unchallenged. These fans saw Teyana as a strong woman who had fought for her family and who wasn't afraid to speak out when it mattered most. They saw her actions as an example of courage, as a way of reclaiming her power in the face of betrayal. For them, Teyana's strength in this moment was not just about confronting Iman, it was about standing up for her daughter, for her family, and for the truth. But as much as some fans stood behind Teyana, others questioned the situation. They wondered if there was more to the story, if there were factors that hadn't been revealed. They were hesitant to take sides, unsure of what the true story was and what was being left out of the narrative. Still, the majority of the fans were aligned in their support for Teyana. Her decision to take control of the situation, to ensure that the truth came to light, was something that resonated deeply with them. They respected her for not letting the betrayal stay hidden, for not allowing the illusion of perfection to continue for the sake of appearances. In the end, Teyana's daughter's testimony not only shook the families involved but also caused a ripple effect through the fan base. It forced everyone to confront the truth, no matter how difficult it was to face. The fallout from this revelation was far-reaching, and it left everyone questioning what they had once believed about the perfect family. For Teyana and her family, this was a turning point, one that would define the future of their relationships and their public image. But there were also fans who questioned everything. They wondered if Teyana had been aware of these issues for longer than she let on. Had she been hiding her own pain for the sake of their public image? Had she tried to protect Iman, even when the cracks in their relationship were starting to show? The speculation didn't stop there. Fans began digging into old posts, interviews, and moments from the couple's past, trying to piece together the puzzle. Was there more to the story than what had been revealed? Had Teyana been silently suffering, keeping up appearances for the sake of her daughter? The pivotal moment came when Iman, after hearing the truth from his daughter, tried to defend himself. But it was too late. His silence spoke louder than any words could. As he stood there, unable to respond, it became clear that this was more than just a family drama. It was a moment of reckoning for Iman. The daughter's testimony had shattered the illusion. Iman's inability to defend his actions made it evident that he had no justification for what had transpired. The silence between them was heavy. Iman was left speechless, with no words to ease the tension, no excuse that could undo the hurt his daughter had so bravely revealed. Teyana, standing tall, made it clear that she would no longer let the past dictate their future. The truth had been exposed, and there was no going back. So what happens next? Is this the end for Iman and Teyana, or is there a chance for them to rebuild their relationship? Can Iman redeem himself after such a public betrayal, or has his silence already spoken volumes? And what about their daughter? How does she move forward after sharing her truth with the world? Is there a way to heal the emotional wounds this testimony has created, or is the damage irreversible? The story isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. The fallout from this moment will echo through Teyana, Iman, and their family for a long time. Will they find a way to heal, or will this be the defining moment that ends their relationship for good? What do you think? Was Teyana right to let her daughter speak out and expose the truth? Do you believe Iman can redeem himself, or is this the final straw? Drop your thoughts, theories, and speculations in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on how this story unfolds, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an update on this explosive drama. The truth is far from over, and the next chapter is sure to be just as wild as the last.